Hey guys, I want to make a quick video and talk about the flushing system I like to use with myself and clients. So this is going to be a very basic overview because if we get into the nitty gritty, it could be a very long video. So it's going to be a basic overview of what the system is, what it entails, and what kind of results we might expect from a flush. So what kind of flush are we talking about? We're talking about a gallbladder flush/cleanse. So the goal of this cleanse is to provoke the gallbladder to basically secrete as much of its bile as it possibly can under a sterile environment. And so by doing this, what happens is several different things. We get to clean out sticky, sludgy bile. That's one of the number one most important thing, because what will happen over time is people will accumulate sticky, sludgy bile, basically cholesterol heavy bile. There'll also be a lot of calcium salts in there, bilirubin. These over time will start out sludgy and then they'll form stones eventually. And then what will happen is that a person won't be able to push their bile out at all. And so if you're dealing with people that are overweight or people that are sick, what happens is that they're not getting one of the most important aspects of their digestion to work and function properly. So the food is coming in and that bile's not necessarily going to flow that well. They're not going to be able to emulsify their fats and digest them quickly enough, because if you don't emulsify your fats, it can't combine with your pancreatic enzymes and it can't get broken down into smaller fat droplets and then chemically converted and then move through your endothelium. So we have to get this digestion working, otherwise you're never going to be able to eat healthy. You're never going to feel satisfied. You're always going to be craving very cheap, poor quality food because it digests really quickly and it doesn't depend on your bile, right? Sugar doesn't need your bile. It just goes right through your endothelium. And that's why a lot of us eat poorly, because our digestive system is rocked. So that's the number one important benefit. And then the second one is actually clearing out your gut. It's actually cleaning out microbes from your digestive system. Like we're talking about biofilms. These come from SIBO and SIFO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth and fungal overgrowths. These accumulate over time as we keep eating poor quality food. We feed them basically ready glucose and fructose, and by feeding them these two things through candy or whatever that is, sweets, we get sick over time, and then toxins build up within those biofilms, and then the next thing you know, there's a fortress growing in your gut and it's causing further cravings downstream. And then these microbes will also cause you to have worse digestion over time as well, because they'll do all kinds of things. Then you'll start getting H. pylori, which lowers your stomach acid. And so we try to tackle the whole thing from top to bottom. But basically, in summary, you're getting those two things. So when you have bile moving through your gut in a sterile environment, why does it get rid of biofilms and SIBO, SIFO? Why does that happen? Because bile contains immunoglobulins. So your body has a natural system for dealing with microbes as you're eating food. So let's say you eat a piece of food, what's going to happen naturally in nature is that bacteria is going to grow on it. And so your body has a system. There's lots of immune cells and activators, immune cell activators within that bile, so that there can be a balance with that food between your immune system, your bacteria, and neutral/pathogenic bacteria. There's a balance, right, that occurs when you eat. So the goal with the flush is we're doing this in a sterile environment now. So now you have this bile, free bile moving with immunoglobulins, and all the immune support is going through, and it's basically acting like soap. Like if you've ever seen dish soap in the bubbles, that's what your bile is like. It's just like that. And what it'll do is it'll move through your gut and it'll start cleaning up house like crazy. And then what will happen is, if you do it right, it'll come out the rear and you'll see it. You'll see suds, you'll see soap, you'll see the bile, you'll see the suds, and it'll come out burning hot. More often than not, it's going to come out burning hot. That's because of bicarbonate. It has a high pH, so it burns. But what happens is you see that, and you'll see green mucus. I have removed a stone, a gallbladder stone. And in the past, I wasn't sure if I was removing gallbladder stones or if they were just clumps of undigested food or olive oil or something. But I had double checked, and I had found out that I did in fact clear a gallbladder stone. I took a picture. Comment down below if you want to see it. I'll throw it in the description, whatever. I could throw in the biofilms too. I don't know, but just comment and I'll leave it in the description. I'll throw a picture in there for you if you guys are inclined to see that. But basically that's what's gonna happen is you're either gonna see stones come out, or you're just gonna clear enough of that sludge so that those stones degrade over time. And you'll end up with much, much better digestion. You'll be much healthier. And the best thing you'll see is the biofilms. You'll see weird, stringy mucus and all kinds of crazy stuff coming out. And that's just phase one. That's just phase one of the flush. The second part of the phase is the next oil, which is olive oil. So you start with MCT oil, you upregulate into MCT oil, and you begin that cascade of MCT. It basically it's a fat, so it provokes the bile to move through. And it causes it to go through, but it doesn't signal contraction. So the gallbladder normally contracts rigidly with food. This time the gallbladder, it kind of like relaxes, but it just releases a ton. The contractions control how much comes out, but if you don't cause a contraction of the gallbladder, it can just leave if you provoke it the right way. So that's what MCT oil can do for us at the right dose and under the right processing system. Now that's getting into a whole different thing. We use a lot of upregulators to do that. I could list a bunch of them, but we're not going to get into that right now. The second half is olive oil. Starting around 3 p.m., we titrate olive oil, and to the end of the night, we don't want to eat much of anything at the end of the night. We just finish off with olive oil, and then again, the next morning, it's not going to come out searing hot, but the olive oil basically does a similar thing, a little bit differently, because it's working in tandem with your immune system, and it's 2xing your autophagy. I'll leave a study link in the description below, but olive oil can double your autophagy by about two times, and it's working very heavily on your liver too. And so it does a special thing with LDL oxidation, prevents the oxidation of LDL. It lowers your oxidative stress, and so it has this whole slew of benefits. And so you'll see the same exact thing happen again. Tons and tons of biofilm, So that's a flush that we offer for our clients, and it's not meant to last incredibly long. We try to give as much digestive support as we can. We like to cycle on and off between that and a sugar-based flush using maltodextrin. That's a completely separate thing, but basically between cycling between oils and sugars, we're able to give the digestive system a break between each cycle, and then eventually what we end up with is a healthier gut that can digest hearty foods like meat and fat, right? If you've ever gotten queasy after a very fatty meal, whether that be healthy or unhealthy, it can happen. You can feel very nauseous, especially in the morning too. A lot of people have trouble eating in the morning. A lot of that, most of that has to do with your bile. It has to do with your bile and your inability to conjugate bile acids and move them through. So that's the end goal, is to get through this flush and then get you eating healthy afterwards, and then getting you healthier in general, right? Getting your skin glowing and then making you feel well. And then the weight can stay off naturally. Naturally, the weight's gonna come off because you're just gonna be a healthier person. So that is a very, very short summary. I wanted to make a 5-minute video, but I guess it'll be about 10 minutes. The shortest summary I can make of the flush and the way that it is. If you'd like to discuss this, DM me for a consultation. I'll talk to you for an hour for free, and I'll even make a plan for you. And any consultations after that, of course, are charged. but I'll talk to you for free, because if you're looking to heal your gut, like, I'm psyched to talk to you about it. So that's what I like to offer my clients, and that's what I've done for myself, and it works really, really well. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a nice day.